It's funny because I present on live television, and I travel all over the world, and I've had speeches and been in front of live groups, and I always talk about my mom and kind of make fun of her, and this is the first time that she's had full control of the microphone. So a little bit nervous coming into this. So first and foremost, what a bittersweet moment. In an honor. You think of moments in your life where you really want to sit there and just pause and say, wow, this is a great feeling. Tonight is one of those feelings. I feel grateful to be sharing the same podium with so many talented individuals. Just to be included in the same sentence is teachers like Mr. Curtis. Well, I'll never forget, I walked out of his classroom, he handed me my first 4.0 report card, and he made sure I was last to get my report card. That was the first thing. And then he handed it to me and said, "You could have did better, son." And I don't know if there's a 4.1, but I'm still trying to figure that out. Or people like Adam Ruffner, I looked up to as a kid because of, one, how many people in the school really respected who he was. But, two, because all the girls in the school really liked him. And it was a long year of being single if you were in my class. Or Shelley Looney, who I looked up to as a young hockey player, and she represented our country on the Olympic podium. How great is that? So as I flew in from Austin, Texas, I really thought about one thing that, it really hit me, that we're the guests of honor accepting these amazing awards. That this day and this moment, and this very award is actually shared amongst us all. And as an entire group, it means so much more than these individual accomplishments. We hold a value. And we hold a meaning. And that meaning is that we symbolize the success and the hard work of all the individuals that helped get us here. All the individuals in front of me today. So it's far too often that when you turn on the news and you change the channel that stories like today are often overshadowed by the negative. They're overshadowed so much that we fail to recognize the good moments that really mean something to a community. The good moments like today. Well, we have an opportunity, and I'm going to take that opportunity. We have an opportunity to silence all of the negative news stories in Central Detroit and replace them with one of glimmering hope. A story of inspiration. A story of a group of individuals that actually made it. And they made it because of good education. They made it because they attended one of the finest educational institutions in the world. They attended the Gibraltar School District. This is your Super Bowl. This is not my moment. This is your hard work and your dedication, and that's the reason we're standing here today. So give yourself a round of applause. So I won't be much longer, but there's so many outstanding teachers and whose words and lessons have really shaped my life, and I want to take the time to kind of walk through some of those. I remember my hockey coach, Tom Spurgeon, he took away the captain on my jersey, and I'll never forget this day, because I broke a team rule and wore an earring to practice. And it's funny because what seemed like the end of the world at the time, and the earring was really cool and the girls liked it. But I finally understand that what he was teaching me was accountability. And I finally understand that that C on my jersey was a privilege. And I never wore that earring again. I'll never forget the day of September 11th. Pat Rice, where are you? I was in Pat Rice's classroom. I'll never forget it. And he said, this day, this moment, is going to change the rest of your lives. He said, everything that you have and all the privileges that you have will be changed. And I still remember we looked up and the second plane hit the World Trade Center tower. I'll never forget it. And the hair on our back stood up. And he was right. Even freedom itself is a privilege. Mike Mahody, where are you? Mike Mahody, he was my speech and drama teacher, and much of the reason I'm where I'm at today. He's an outstanding individual, and more so a teacher, just an incredible guy. But there's one particular moment that I had with Mike that really stuck with me all these years. We were talking after class, and we were talking politics, and he said that he liked a particular representative from the state of Michigan. And I asked him why. And he said, because I was at a charity event, and I knew who he was, Yet he never once campaigned to me. He never once said, I'm this representative from the state of Michigan. He was there because he wanted to help. And he was there because he wanted to help others that did not have the same privilege. So taking what I've learned today, that powerful message that Mike shared with me, I choose one project each year, and I give to others that do not have the same privilege. So in 2008, the charity that I chose was the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. And I sponsored a 10-year-old boy named Matthew, and his family did not have the same privileges as I. There were 6 kids living in the poorest neighborhood in Austin, in a 2-bedroom apartment. And my goal for that 1 year was to provide him with opportunity and experiences and show him what hard work and privileges he can get with a good education. But my 1-year commitment of going to baseball games and movies turned into a 3-year commitment when I received a phone call. I received a phone call from the CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters letting me know that Matthew's dad had been murdered. And so, to this day, this was the one moment in my life where I had a complete reality check. That even my family was a privilege. My mom and dad being married for 30 years was a privilege. Having my family here tonight is a privilege. And serving on this podium is a privilege. So I stepped up for these kids. And the best feeling that I ever had in my entire life was being able to raise enough money to take all 6 of these kids school shopping and to see how truly grateful they were. And when I left the program after 3 years, my goal of passing on Mike's and Pat's lesson of privilege was accomplished. So the theme of today is one of privilege. And if I can send a message so powerful to everybody in this room, to all the kids at Carlson High School, all the way up to the President of the United States, is that we as a society, as a community, and as a country need to understand that everything we have is a privilege. Wearing a Carlson Marauder jersey was a privilege. Free education was a privilege. Serving our country is a privilege. And our very freedom itself is a privilege. So as I leave the podium today, I leave thankful, I leave humble that the outstanding teachers of the Gibraltar School District taught me the most important lesson of my entire life. They taught me the lesson of privilege. Thank you very much.